Well, it's November, so time to start talking about Christmas movies, I guess. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is our post-Geekout reaction for Klaus, which doesn't come out on Netflix until next week, but this weekend it is in very limited release.
Yes.
Because you need to actually be in a theater to be considered for an Academy Award. So Netflix put this out a week early in a few theaters, and we actually got an opportunity to see it. Now, what makes this movie so interesting, and the thing that's got everybody talking about, isn't that it's just, oh, it's another Christmas movie, oh, yeah. It's that it is traditional 2D animation.
Yes, and you would not expect that the way it's.
They definitely came in here after they did the 2D hand-drawn animation in here, and they definitely did like some digital effects in there.
Yes, digital effects, but like, you know, it's
a 2D cake with digital frosting on
yes.
top. Yes. And honestly, I was stunned by the way this looks. Listen, we'll talk about like the story and all that stuff in a second here, but let's be real. The big appeal of this movie is that it's finally going back to 2D animation, and I'm not saying 3D animation is inferior, not at all. But what I'm saying is that every studio out there, because it's cheaper and quicker, goes with 3D animation. And man, if you're a big animation junkie, you eventually get to that point where you're just like, just give me a 2D animated movie, for
or at
God's
least
sake.
a movie that stylistically looks different, because Spider-Verse was 3D, but it looked very different compared to like all the other 3D movies out there, because
I have had a theory recently that the reason why so many Disney and Pixar movies look exactly the same isn't because like they have similar people at the top, but because of like the same reason why when a video game uses the same engine, you'll see things like, okay, well, these are two very different video games, but those crates over there are the same for some reason. Because, yeah, they just have all that stuff in file. They just go copy, paste, just drag and drop there. Oh, we need someone with a background? Well, we have 1,000 different designs for people already in this system. Bring them right on over here. Bam, crowd shot. I'm wondering if that's the reason why so many Disney and Pixar things look the same. Not like a lack of inspiration or anything, but just it's quicker and easier to just go with the stuff that you already have in file. Anyway, that's a weird theory that I have. Whereas this film, yeah, it just feels good to get something different in here.
yes.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the animation looks great in here. It looks so good. I have said several times that when it comes to the Academy Awards and the Best Animated Features category, I do not think that that should be a judge of the entire movie. I feel like that should be kind of like a technical award. I feel like when you give out the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, it should go to what has the best animation. Because this thing, it might get nominated for that category, but it ain't gonna win Best Animated Feature. But if they just graded it on how good the animation looks, this would have a shot. This would absolutely have a shot. Yeah, I was really just blown away by this because there were shots in here where my jaw just dropped. Because this is meant to be kind of the origin story of Santa Claus. And that shot of the first time that a kid finds a present that Santa left for them, that shot is gorgeous. Like, jaw on the floor, gorgeous. Yeah, I love some of the shots in here. There's a moment, there's so many moments of Santa, or he's not Santa at this point.
Not at this point.
Just Klaus.
Just Klaus.
There's so many shots of Klaus just like looking up a hill as the wind is blowing dust of snow into the air, and there are these birdhouses just swinging back and forth, and just the tree branches moving. Oh my God, the lighting in there and just the angle and how well it's framed is gorgeous. There's no other word for it. And I love the character designs in here.
Oh, yeah.
Because what this is about is that it is about this guy,
Jesper.
Yes, Jesper. I almost said Jespin, but Jesper, which for me is close. For the guy who always forgets names, that was close. But he is the son of the Postmaster General, so he has led a comfy, rich life. But now his dad's like, you have to actually go out there and work, and you have to be a postman. So he goes to post school, whatever that used to be called, and he's just goofing off. He's just sitting there. He's not doing any actual work. So his dad says, all right, this is your last opportunity. we are going to send you away to Smearensburg. I almost said Smorgasburg, which again for me is close. They're sending him to this island country of Smearenburg.
An island as in like frozen island, not tropical island.
Oh yeah. It is like this, often like the Norwegian, like high up there, close to Antarctica kind of situation.
Close to the Arctic.
Sorry.
Antarctica's down there.
South, yeah. Oh, welcome to the Aaron Gets Corrected on Everything episode. And rightfully so, because I'm wrong. But it's this like frozen tundra village. And he's getting sent there to establish the postal service. And he has to mail out 6,000 letters within a year if he wants to return home. If he doesn't, you're cut off forever. You get nothing. You gotta remain on this island forever. And he arrives there. And this entire town is just the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not what they're called. I mean, that's not what they're calling here. They're the Crumbs and...
The Elroys or the L something?
It's L something. But anyway, it's the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yes, basically.
This entire island is just two different families, or two different clans as they're called, because if you say family, then it raises all kinds of questions about who's marrying who and who's having kids with what. But yeah, it's two different clans that have just been feuding for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Like thousands of years even.
Yeah, like they have like caveman paintings of them feuding, which I gotta say, this movie is making a message about how hate is spread through generations. Mm-hmm. I gotta applaud this movie for how they leaned into that. Like, they never turned to the audience and just went, we're making a statement about bigotry and prejudices. But that's basically what they're doing, because there's moments where you see the kids, they don't understand why they have to hate each other. And they're like, no, hate is a proud tradition. My grandfather hated, and his father hated, and they hated before them, and just like going on and on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they're trying to make a statement about, and I think that they actually did a really good job with that in here. So yeah, nobody wants to establish a post office in here.
Yeah, no one has any...
Nobody's got to mail letters to each other.
No, I mean, they could mail hate letters, but they'd rather, like, throw pans and weapons.
Wow, I got a lot... Wow, today there's a lot of packages. Why are they all ticking? Yeah, nobody wants to send any letters here. And there's another person who is from outside town. She came here years ago to be a teacher. Nobody sends their kids to school here because nobody wants their kids fraternizing with the enemies. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants them to sit next to someone from the other clan. So she ends up just turning her entire school into like a fish market. And she's playing, this character is played by Rashida Jones. Man, I keep forgetting how good of an actress Rashida Jones is because people don't want to use her in anything. Because people suck, because she's an amazing actress. She gives it her all in this, and she's great in here. The voice cast in here is actually really
it's
good.
a great voice cast.
This entire cast is people making me go, is that? Because the main character is played by Jason Schwartzwelder. I spent the entire film going, who in God's name is that? Because it is so on the tip of my tongue. When that popped up at the end of this, I let out the biggest sigh of relief. Just, oh, thank God.
Oh, and the captain.
The ship captain, yes. The guy who like gets him to the island and brings stuff to the island from the mainland. It's played by Norm Macdonald. Mm-hmm. And Norm Macdonald, Norm Macdonald's got one of those weird ways of talking and putting inflection on. Just odd bits of dialogue that you wouldn't expect. So nobody out there talks like Norm Macdonald, but it sounds like Norm Macdonald doing a Bill Murray impersonation because he's more laid back than Norm Macdonald normally is, and his voice is a little bit deeper, which probably just happens because it's been like a decade since I saw Norm Macdonald in anything, so maybe his voice just got deeper with age. But yeah, it sounded like that weird, like, okay, this is either Norm Macdonald doing a Bill Murray impersonation, or it's Bill Murray doing a Norm Macdonald impersonation. Because yeah, I kept thinking, okay, I don't think that's Norm Macdonald, but it really sounds like there's someone else out there who just talks just like Norm Macdonald. No, it's Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, he's actually really good.
Honestly, as soon as the boat captain started like being sarcastic, it's like, Norm Macdonald's, he's got that very sarcastic sense of humor.
Norm Macdonald's way of speaking is just like, I don't know if you're being sincere about this or not. I don't even know the answer to what you're asking me right now. Hello, motorcycle outside. So yeah, like this entire cast is pretty darn good. And Klaus is Klaus, whatever.
Klaus, whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah. He's played by J.K. Simmons, which is one of the few actors in here who you just nail as soon as he starts talking. But when he first pops up, he is so quiet. He's just the big, cold, silent type, just doesn't say anything. There came a point in which I honestly wondered if they were paying J.K. Simmons by the word. Because he says so little for the first half of this film. But we were talking about the character designs in here. When he gets to Smearensburg, oh my God, every single person in this town has a very distinct design. There's that old rule about character design in animation that you should do the silhouette test.
Yes.
That if you can identify them through a silhouette, then you made a good character design. You can do that with every single character in this world. Like, the ones that don't even have names in here. You just look at them and go, that's incredibly distinct. Oh my God. But what ends up happening along the way, and this is one of those things where I don't even know what counts as a spoiler or not. I do know one thing at the end of this that counts as a spoiler. But this is one of those films. But this is one of those films where you don't know what counts as a spoiler because it's a Christmas movie about Santa Claus. You know he's gonna start handing out some presents.
You get the basic idea.
But yeah, this is one of those movies where there's a woodsman who lives way up in the corner of the island, and nobody bugs him. And the postman is so desperate for anyone to mail out a letter, he decides he's going to go up there and see if he has any mail to deliver. So he goes up there, and this is one of those stories where Klaus isn't really like a mystical creature. He doesn't have an entire shed full of elves. He doesn't have a big factory.
No, his reindeer don't fly.
Yeah, exactly. This is more of one of those realistic depictions of Santa.
And honestly, I really like that.
I've seen a couple stories that try and do this. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think this does that better than almost any other story that I've seen of that. Because they give Santa some depth. They give him a backstory in here. There's a moment where they're talking about why Santa has all these toys that I just looked at this and went, I don't know, this is okay for kids. Not because it's like horrifying, but it's deep. This is a story that will make you sad at times.
But there is a happy ending.
Yes, a happy, sad ending.
A bittersweet ending.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie, there were moments where I was fighting back tears during this thing. I was really struggling to keep myself from just bursting out in tears, and if we weren't surrounded by children, I probably would have. But I heard a bunch of sniffles in that theater during these moments. I was not the only one getting affected by these scenes. However, that brings me into some of my negatives with this, is that it doesn't quite seem like it always knows what it wants to be because, yeah, it can get really deep and emotional. It can get very heavy at times. But then they'll have, like, the scene where Jesper tells this kid who's a jerk in town about the naughty list so that the kid will stop being a jerk. And when he walks away from telling them, that kid about the naughty list, there's like hip-hop, like, doesn't it feel good to be a gangster kind of music playing.
Yeah, that's like...
And that's the second time they do something like that
Yeah,
in
it's
here.
like, they actually do have like a lot of good music in
There's
this.
some great music in here.
Yes, the score and everything, but every now and then they like shove in a
They try
modern...
and get cool.
Yeah.
Try and get hip and with
Although,
the kids.
to be fair, the people behind Despicable Me were part of this.
Oh, well, then they restrained themselves. Knowing that this is the Despicable Me crew, I give this so much more credit. But yeah, I have no idea why when they, like, dude, you've got this really great thing going on here. And it's not like it's present all throughout. If it was present all throughout, then you could imagine that that's just what they do and they think that's funny. But you have this really solid thing here that doesn't require that, but except that there's 2 moments in here where you decide to do it. You didn't need to.
Yeah, and it felt really weird.
It felt so out of place.
Yeah.
And another thing, I gotta admit, I think that Jesper, for a large chunk of this film, feels out of place himself. Because he's supposed to be a spoiled brat, and they take that to 11 with his character. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't go for extremes with animated characters, but I've said this many times, when you're crafting an annoying character, there is a very fine balance. There is a tightrope to walk between this character is annoying for the world he's in. This character is annoying to watch. And there's a lot of times in the beginning of this film where Jesper leaned way into, he's annoying to watch and I don't want to follow this character. It does get way better.
It does.
Halfway through the movie, gets much better.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of times during that first half where I was like going, I don't know about this.
It's like, I felt the same way. It's like I was trying to grin and bear it because, like, I understand this is like a redemption story for him.
He's going to have an arc, and you can't have a character grow without starting at a low point.
Yeah, I try to think of myself, he was like Kuzco from Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, but Kuzco is a great example because Kuzco is legitimately entertaining.
Yes, he is. Jesper's just really obnoxious.
Oh my god. There's a moment in here in which Jesper is being told by his dad that he's going to have to go to Smearensburg. And Jesper's like, don't you remember, Daddy? Don't you remember, Daddy? I'm your little Jesper. Won't you let me help you with the mail, Daddy? Won't you let me help you with the mail? That goes on for like 3 times as long as I just did. Oh my god, cut that scene. Cut it! That scene is bad! And it makes you look at that character and just go, oh god, you're too pathetic. You're too pathetic to enjoy. Well, I'm really impressed now, though, that you told me that this is the Despicable Me guys, because, listen, Despicable Me isn't great, but there are things in there that I enjoyed and I looked at and went, you know what? If you could actually work on this, like, these are your strengths, work on these things, you actually do have a future ahead of you. I looked at a lot of this film and went, wow, yeah, now that you're telling me this, I see those things that I view as the strengths of the people who worked on those films. And it does kind of make me go, oh, shoot, like, they're working on those things. They're focusing on their strengths. They do come here with the negatives, though, but...
Yeah, I just want to say, like, it's not entirely the Despicable Me.
Oh, okay.
It's, they were a part of it, but it's like there's...
Well, now that you say that, I just imagine that all the good things were done by the people who weren't the Despicable Me guys.
Just assume that.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I'm like, why on earth did they just put in those 2 hip-hop songs? Oh, that's the Despicable Me guys that's coming here. It's like, well, you gotta put this in there.
Yeah.
That's what the kids like, oh. Respect gone. But yeah, this film, basically, through a long series of events that we won't get into, but it's not like a convoluted series of events. It's not like one of those things that you look at and you're just like, that would never actually happen. Like, you can kind of see, like, how...
we just want to, like, cut to the chase.
Yeah. But basically what happens is that through a series of events, Klaus ends up deciding, yes, I've pronounced that 3 different ways this entire episode, Klaus decides that he is going to have the postman deliver this present. But he wants to go with the postman because he wants to see the look on the kid's face when it's delivered. He wants to make sure that it gets delivered. Mm-hmm. But he keeps doing this because Jesper goes, oh, shoot. These kids showed up the next day saying that because some kid wrote a letter, he got toys. So now I'm going to write a letter. And Jesper looks at this and goes, oh, here's my way. Here's how I get all that. Oh, okay, here's how I get that 6,000 letters. So he starts collecting all these letters, starts taking them up to Klaus. And every single night they have to go and deliver these presents. And it's actually pretty well handled the way that they slowly introduce every element of the Santa mythos.
Yeah.
Like why he goes in through the chimney.
Why he leaves presents in stockings.
Why he leaves presents in stockings. Why he leaves coal to kids who are bad. The whole cookie thing, that's not like a big part of this, but I mean, it's a small little thing.
Yes.
Yeah, they slowly introduce like every element of the Sandman mythos. Like the way that he gets the helper elves, as you want to say. I actually thought that was handled incredibly well. Mm-hmm. I thought that the way they introduced his helpers was great. Which, by the way, did the Lilo and Stitch people work on this too?
I don't
Because there is one little girl in here that I kept looking at going, that looks like if you just smash Lilo and Stitch together into like some weird Full Metal Alchemist like human chimera merger.
No.
Spoilers for that. So, yeah, the way that they just introduced every single bit of the Sandman mythos in here, I thought it was actually handled incredibly well. And the villains in here, I think they're great. They're actually really funny watching the two different heads of these clans like bounce off of each other. I thought that they had great rapport with one another. All the villagers in here are really good. But you know that the whole point of this is that they're going to try and bring the village together. This movie is heartwarming. This movie is insanely heartwarming because you picture like, okay, I mentioned Santa's got some depth to him. Santa's got a backstory, and you're gonna learn that, and it's pretty sad. But there's like happy, sad moments in here. And for me, one that just really got me was when they introduced to the kids, you have to do good deeds if you want Santa to like
give you toys.
They go around actually like getting along with each other. They actually go around helping to clean up the town, and that inspires the adults to slowly start helping each other. The montage of how this town slowly starts coming together, it was a Grinch situation. I felt my heart grow 3 times in size that day. That entire montage is so powerful. I love that sequence in this movie. And there's a lot of sequences like that in this film. This movie knows how to be heartwarming. However, there is another negative that I have to give this film, is that this movie is one of those the liar revealed type of stories, because Jesper, he's doing all this because he's making it seem like, no, I just care about the kids, I just want to do this thing, and then they eventually discover, oh, you had to do this to get the 6,000 letters so that way you could leave this island and go back to your cushy lifestyle. And I don't feel like that's a spoiler because it seems like that's coming the entire time.
But that's kind of why I like the woman, what was her name?
The teacher?
The teacher, yes.
Did you just ask me what a character's name
is? Yes. Elias?
Rashida Jones.
Yes. All right, fine. I'll just call her Rashida Jones. Like, basically...
I just did our entire Shining review just calling Scatman Crothers, so... Yeah, trust me, if you can't remember the character's name, actor's name works fine.
All right, so basically... She was in the same situation as Jesper's, like, she just gave up on everything, like, she was just in it for herself, but then after realizing, oh, these kids want to write letters, but they don't know how to write, so they go to school.
That entire sequence is great.
Yeah, it's like, I felt like her redemption arc was a lot better than Jesper's.
Yeah. She's got, because she was
also, like, saving up money to get out of that
she was also at rock bottom, yeah. She's got her whole arc in here, too, and she's great in this movie. But as I said, the liar revealed thing in here, listen, I'm not entirely opposed to liar revealed storylines. I don't like them, but you can do it well. The entire time, like, when everybody find out, oh, that's why you do this, well, we turn our backs on you right now. I just kept looking at this going, this is not as big of a deal as you guys are making this out. Like, this being the lie, all he has to do is say, yeah, that's my motivation when I came here, but I'm not leaving now. I want to stay. I actually enjoy this. I can't imagine anybody hearing him say, I want to stay in this frozen tundra wasteland with no motivation other than helping people, and go, oh, well, boo, your motivations were bad. I mean, I cannot, like, this is one of the worst liar reveals I've seen, because the lie is like, that's not that bad of a thing. That's not that bad of a thing.
Honestly,
and you all know. All he has to do is just say, all he has to do in that moment is just say, I've decided I want to stay. That feels like that's all the proof that these people would need that he's changed. It feels like this would be resolved like that. Yeah, I really dislike
Although the climax, it didn't even have to involve him at all.
No. That's a weird, like, the climax was there. Okay, we're not going to get too far disposed on that. But the climax is one of these things where he has to come in here and he has to prove that he actually does care about them. So that's why the climax happens. But after that climax happens, you do find out he didn't actually save the day. He just proved to his friends he actually cares. So he didn't need to do that climax. But if he had have done, everything still would have been fine for the town. Town would still have been just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to give this movie an 8. I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think so too. Like, you said this, I remember you saying, like, after the movie was over, like, this would be like an instant Christmas classic, and I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of people try and make new Christmas classics over this. This is one that you look at and go, no, this on Netflix, if you got a Netflix subscription, this is one of those things that every single year you're going to pop that bad boy on. Yeah, this one is really good for that. So I give this an 8 out of 10. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to get into spoilers on this one.
No.
Because, 95% of the people who could possibly see this aren't going to be able to see it until next week. So we're not gonna do that. But also, there's really only one thing to spoil in here, and I just gotta say, yeah, was fighting back them tears. Was fighting back them tears at the end of this thing, and I remember looking at this going, they ain't gonna do that. Wow, okay. So yeah, really kind of appreciate how it's filmed.
Yes, but if you can see this in theaters, please do. I want us to support 2D animation as much as possible.
Yeah, so. Like this and The Irishman, they're just movies that Netflix is putting in theaters solely so that they can get Oscar nominations, but I am very glad that they'll be coming to Netflix soon, so even the people who can't see them in theaters will be able to see them anywhere. And listen, man, if you can't see it in theaters, just watch it on Netflix. Yeah. It still shows your support for animation, for this animation. But yeah, again, we gotta come back around to it. The lighting on this animation, just that weird crisp glow whenever a candle was lit on someone's face. It almost has like a pastel chalk effect. Is how it looks. Because it's got like those little tiny bits of shading towards the end. Like when you go around with chalk, it's got those little tiny fuzzy bits there towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably like a brush tool on it.
It's definitely a brush tool, yeah. So yeah. Which, as we mentioned, this is 2D hand-drawn animation, but with that digital effect on top. It is an amazing blend of the two. I am really impressed with this. But yeah, and they used, what was it, Toon Boom to make this?
Yes.
And that's the same software that they're going to use on the upcoming Bone TV show, or Netflix show, I should say.
Yeah, like Toon Boom is like becoming the new Adobe Animate, so.
Which is good, because anytime that someone can kill an Adobe program, I'm very happy with that. Those guys have screwed the bed too many times. And I say that as someone who has to use Adobe. Listen, if anybody wants to come out there with a better editing program, I'm all ears. But yeah, this is the same software that they're going to use on that Bone show, which is also being made by Netflix. So, man, I'm even more excited for that thing right now. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. I'm going to try and see Jojo Rabbit this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because it's freezing up here in New York right now.
Yes, I feel like we saw Klaus at the perfect time.
Yeah, and I don't want to go back outside in this weather.
Well, maybe it'll get warmer, who knows?
I will try and see Jojo Rabbit because I'm very intrigued by that. Because a lot of people are like, yeah, it's good, but, and I'm like, what's the but? What's the but? So yeah, I kind of want to know what's up with that. But yeah, so come back this weekend, maybe, question mark, if not, come back next week for whatever comes out next week. Yeah. Next week is another one of those dead weeks where it's like there's nothing out. Maybe I'll go and see JoJo then. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.